Cody, right now in Colorado, KRDO 105.5 FM. You're on Ground Zero. Go ahead.
Hi, Clyde. How's it going?
Great.
I'm glad. I'm so happy that you guys decided to discuss the subject because I was a victim of gang stalking back in 2007. I was in IT for over 10 years, and basically, I would go to work, and people would be talking about stuff that was in private things that were going on between me and my wife at home. And later I found out through the grapevine is that they were breaking into my house, putting in sound devices and hidden cameras. And then I would try to go home at night at about 1 a.m. and I would be phased with tasers and mind control devices. And then I started hearing voices. And then eventually I got secluded and I had a breakdown. And during that breakdown, I ended up having to go to the mental institution, and then they diagnosed me with paranoid schizophrenia.
Right.
And after that, they put me on a Abilify 50 milligrams, and I've been stable since then. But I couldn't hold down a job. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't think clearly. I was hearing voices. I was having fantastic visions.
Fritz.
It was a really scary thing.
Let's listen to what Fritz is. Fritz, what were you saying?
Did they ever try to get you to do any criminal activity? Actually, that was what was funny is I had thought when I was having my delusions that that I was an FBI agent, and so I went around the neighborhood and I was trying to knock on people's doors thinking I was doing a security check, and then the police got called and they were going to get me for menacing, a felony, and I basically went to court and they forced medications on me and I stabilized, but I got surrounded at my house and it was really scary.
What was the reason, do you think, or the motive, do you think, of putting those cameras in your house being bugged? Was it by your company?
Well, it was by my company, and I don't want to say which company it was, but it was a pretty high-end company that everybody's familiar with. But basically, I felt it was political because I was political in my own beliefs. And not only was it political, as I had a high-end job, and they were looking at security. This is when they introduced the Patriot Act, and the NSA started doing all this wiretapping stuff. And so I felt like I was being surrounded. And when they diagnosed me with paranoid schizophrenia, I was in total rejection of it. And even now, I look back and I don't really like to talk about it because this subject is like something people don't like to take seriously. And it is a very serious thing. Once you get higher up in the government, most of my people that I work with at the corporation were ex-military. And I was an ex-military. And this is when George W. Bush was in office. And I tell you what, it was a really scary thing to go through that whole thing. I'm really clear and stable now that I'm on meds, but I never had paranoid schizophrenia. You don't get diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia until you're in your your early teens. But I didn't get paranoid schizophrenia until my late 30s.
So what happened was they were tormenting you enough to where you felt that you were second guessing yourself, and then you started being delusional.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And not only that, but I was feeling like me and my wife were both going to bed at night, and we felt like we were getting tasered, like there was some kind of electric trace.
Oh, that's what Aaron Alexis said. Aaron Alexis said he was feeling some electric feelings going through his walls like microwaves, and he started hearing voices in the walls.
Yeah, like microwaves. And then I would go to work, and they would come in with these black bags, and they'd be sitting in cubes across from me. And I would go to security, and I said, why are you guys letting people in with black bags for? And then I would sit down in my cube, and I'd feel a burning sensation on the back of my neck. Like they came up with some kind of taser device to go through the cubes.
Obviously, they saw you as a security threat. That's why they were doing this. They were monitoring you, and then they figured, well, let's just harass this guy.
They were totally harassing me, following me around.
Have you tried to sue this company on the grounds that they were doing this?
Well, see, that's the whole thing. When I ended up getting that menacing charge, they forced me into the mental institution, and then I refused to take meds because I thought they were after me.
Well, that's part of your cognitive liberty.
And then I tried to talk to the district attorney, and the district attorney was like, this guy's nuts. He doesn't want to take his meds.
Of course.
He's nuts. And the whole society and the whole system started backtracking against me, so they forced medications on me.
Rudy, we got to run. We're out of time, but gosh, it sounds like you went through hell. I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you're stable, and thank you for calling the program tonight. That's Rudy's case, and it seems like typical cases with everyone who's involved with electronic harassment. Aaron Alexis, of course, is playing this.
Exactly to a T.
Ground Zero. Ensure breaking news at the
Nancy Sinatra. Yeah, it's a wide range.
Wow, that's amazing. So there's more phone calls now. We have Leslie calling in from California, KOGO 600 AM. Hi, Leslie. You're on Ground Zero with Elisa E. Go ahead.
Yes, hi Clyde and hi Lisa. Clyde, I appreciate you taking my call, and I'm going to try and make this as fast as possible. I'm a gang stalking target, and I've been a target for 12 years. I'm learning disabled, and I'm all over the internet. My blogs and YouTube videos are titled Learning Disabled Woman Being Tortured in San Diego. And the reason why I decided to call tonight was because of the information concerning what I know and who I come from in reference to the military that is infested in my family and what they were involved in. And so I was just trying to spit it out as fast as possible. My father was Chief MP to General Curtis LeMay. There's high-ranking mass in my family, high-ranking Air Force retired, and my ex-husband was a submarine radar antenna electrician. Now, there's the microwave hearing that this individual, I forgot his name,
Aaron Alexis, yeah, he was a shooter in the Washington, D.C. Naval Yard shooting.
Okay, right. Now, the microwaves that are being transmitted against organized stalking, gang stalking targets, it's called the microwave hearing effect. And basically, it's like the computer-to-brain feedback loop where targeted individuals are subjected to non-stop, repetitive words, phrases, commands, statements, demeaning statements, things along those lines. Now, there's also machines that can keep targeted individuals awake or actually cause them to fall asleep and stay asleep as well. Now, there's a manifesto on the internet written by a manager of gang stalking titled A Gang Stalking Tech, Everything You Need to Know. MK Ultra is listed throughout the entire manifesto. Psychic Driving is as well by Irvin Cameron, which is basically for MK Ultra programming. It's been mentioned quite a few times in the manifesto. It talks about basically, and then targets of gang stalking are also subject to non-stop repetitive harassment, which is identically the same everywhere they go along all the routes physically by the physical people that are brought on board in the harassment campaign.
So Leslie, have you been targeted? Or you know this firsthand? Is that why you're telling us about this tonight?
I've been a target for 12 years. They've literally made me homeless. And I wanted to say something, if you don't mind me saying so. That Marine that just called up, he's a target. I can tell just by what he was saying. You know, they made me homeless. I've been gang stalked at 5, 6 separate apartments, motel rooms. Okay, just like what Alicia was saying as well. They also have some technology called outwave transmissions, okay, which can cause a targeted individual to hear long, sustained tones in their ears and repetitive statements, words, phrases, and you would not believe the evidence I got. I'm being targeted like you would not believe in San Diego. So the reason why I called is because information about gang stalking, organized stalking, is all over the internet. The neurocognitive weapons that targeted individuals experience are all over the internet. And I personally believe from what this individual is saying that it definitely sounds like he was being gang stalked. They have equipment that can cause directed energy weapons, okay, that can cause your body to feel like it's being electrically shocked. You would not believe what we go through, Clyde. It's just...
Well, I've had a number of guests on to talk about this before, and a lot of people reduce it to just pure psychosis. Elisa, I mean, how do we... I want to ask Elisa, how is it that we can hear about this, and yet people are so apt to believe that it can't happen, even though we have the technology, and they're immediately writing you off as people who have psychotic breaks?
Well, as one person said, if I were literally, this is what a person responded with when some conspiracies were brought their way. If I were to believe my government could do that, I couldn't live. This what's happening, and let me just say thank you for calling in, Leslie, because the way I see it is what was done to me, I'm a microcosm of the macrocosm. There was an intensified effort on me, but what's being done now, and has been being done for some time, is mass populist targeting on MKUltra. They've got the technology now that, like I said, they don't have to start you out when you're a kid. They'll do that with a few, but they're going for the masses. And what she's talking about is real. It's so pervasive. It's absolutely stunning. And they're being experimented on, but the numbers are growing. This is coming to everyone, soon coming to a theater near you, to your home. This is the real deal. They are going into society, and they want to brain map and control everyone.
Well, I know that one of the things that were talked about both at the Bohemian Grove and at the Bilderberg meeting was full spectrum control of both humans, animals, and plant life.
Everything.
This is one way to do it. Also, they're discussing the chips that are being being recommended for Obamacare and the surveillance state. So these are things that maybe we'd be used to. The idea that we'd be on full control, whether it be controlled to be under surveillance or controlled to move about and do what we're told rather than rebelling or at least revolting. And this is the thing that really is interesting, especially now when we've talked before on this program about how Barack Obama has now set aside money to fingerprint the brain. They're going in now, they're trying to figure out what makes the brain tick, and what better way to do that than to add stimulus to the brain and see how people like Leslie and Elisa and others can react to that kind of stimulus without even knowing that they're being stimulated.
And I would take that to even a little farther. What Obama's talking about has long been done in the Black Project. It's already here. If he's breaking the news, it's 50 years down the road, and that's the way it works in the high-level Black projects. And those projects are being brought now to the mass populace.
Fantastic. Leslie, do you have anything more to add before we go to the break?
Yeah, just one more fast thing, if you don't mind. I feel so bad that they're doing this, of course, to everybody, and then the future targets, but the veterans are doing this too. Just burns my butt. Holographic projection, mind uploading, mind hacking, it's happening right now. You would not believe what they're doing to me. You just would not believe it. They literally set up some individuals to hike out 200 feet away from me who are constantly yelling, gang stalking, gang stalk, gang stalker, gang stalking. Oh my God, we're crazy. They repeat words and phrases along all my routes. You would not believe the evidence I got. But I'm going to go ahead and let you go. And I just, thank you, Alicia, for coming on the show. And thank you, Clyde, for, covering this tonight. And if any targeted individuals are out there listening, I just want you to know I love you. And please just stay safe.
Leslie, I thank you for the call. I thank you. Thank you for the call. Elisa, it's amazing that you came on the show tonight and gave us the information. Once again, the book is Our Life Beyond MKUltra. Hopefully we can have you on again to talk about this topic when it actually rears its ugly head again.
Yes, unfortunately it will, won't it?
Yes, it will. This is the second time we've had you on, and believe me, this is some fascinating stuff. Elisa, thanks so much for being on the program tonight.
Thank you, Clyde.
Have a good night. Take care.
You too.
888-673-3700. That's 888-673-3700. What do you think? Do you think that this is actually happening, or do you just write it off as psychosis, psychotic break, or what have you? The programming is being used. They are now claiming that it's a mass programming. Are we a part of the programming? Is this one of the reasons why we're off and then we're on? Do we accept certain types of evil that perhaps we're being coerced into doing things we wouldn't normally do? 888-673-3700. That's 888-673-3700. Back with more Ground Zero. Don't go away.
Shut up! What's up, little wrong? Wait on it. Wrong? Hey, security wrong. Why, man? The fucking little color? Get the fuck on. You fucking little color. Do it right now. I'm standing right here. I'm standing right here. What? Shut up. What's up, little wrong? Wait on it. Wrong? Hey, security wrong. Why, man? The fucking little color? Get the fuck on. You fucking little color. Do it right now. I'm standing right here. Get the fuck on. You fucking little color.
This story on our website, kcba.com. Here tonight, police call it bullying on steroids. We're talking about gang stalking, but it actually has nothing to do with the gangs that you first think of. Southern Coast News reporter Candace Wynn learned more about the trend and how it's getting more dangerous because of the internet. It makes me so afraid.
Lawrence Gazino claims his neighbors are gang stalking him because he plays loud music late at night and is outspoken. He said for the last year and a half he's been systematically followed by a group of people. At one point he said they climbed on his roof to harass him. Gazino said he's developed a paranoia that's devastated his relationships with friends and, worst of all, family.
That's the worst part of it. If it was me, I would take action.
Santa Cruz Police Lieutenant Larry Richards said police are becoming more aware of gang stalking because of cyberbullying. But what is gang stalking? Basically, the victims could be driving their car or talking on their phones or walking the streets when a group of people try to systematically terrorize them. Richards said gang stalking is nothing new, but new technology is making it more common.
Gang stalking themselves, they have elevated themselves to technology. So this is something that's been going on before the age of Facebook, Twitter, those other social websites. They just now have gone into those areas.
Gazino said he's proof that the problem isn't just online and that it can hit too close to home, a home he plans on leaving because of gang stalking.
I want to be able to go to the tennis courts and play tennis or play ping pong without people following us everywhere. It's just nerve-wracking.
I'm Candace Wen in Salinas, your Central Coast News.
If found guilty of gang stalking, the person may face criminal, conspiracy, and stalking charges, all of which are felony charges in California.